What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be practicing on TIG welding aluminum. Let's do it.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So, if that intro sounds familiar, then it should, because that's Jody from Welding Tips and Tricks, and I really admire the guy, his channel, all the good work that he's doing for the community, and hopefully I get to work with him someday. So, all right, let's get started into what we're doing here. We're welding on aluminum, and it's sheet metal aluminum 20 gauge, and I got this filler rod that I'm using right now is 3/32, but I got two filler rods going, and the second filler rod is a 1/16. I'm on a gas lens with a number 6 cup, 3/32 tungsten, and I got my CFH, I believe anywhere between 15 to 20, but definitely no more than 20. And the whole purpose of this practice is I'm trying everything. I mean, high CFH, low CFH, super blunted tungsten, super sharp tungsten, thick filler rods, skinny filler rod, all this stuff. I mean, I'm just trying everything because I want to just practice, really, or should I say sharpen my aluminum game. I don't do too much aluminum. I do more stainless steel stuff, and want to get into aluminum. So practicing here, and I just want to share that with you guys so that we can all grow together and learn together. And you can see right there, I kind of do this little puddle dance to get things started, and I kind of build my puddle, then I start going. But you can see how that flame is just kind of dancing around, and that's from just too much argon flow, too much CFH, but also my tungsten is probably just not ideal at this point. I played around with my tungsten a little bit, and certain welds just didn't come out great. Another thing is I was playing around with the temperatures on or the settings on my welder. I'm using a Miller Multimatic 220, and it's a really good welder. It's a multi-process welder, so it does aluminum. Or that's one of the good things about this welder, is that it does AC as well as DC, which AC is for aluminum. And it's really good. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but for what it can do with aluminum, for the settings that it does have, it's great. It meets my needs. But I do plan on buying a Dynasty, so if you want to support that goal, that endeavor, then please make a donation. All right, so here we kind of struggling a little bit. I think what happened was I just kind of came into a patch of uncleaned aluminum. So you got to remove that oxide layer. And if you don't know, then yes, so aluminum has an oxide layer, and it takes a lot more heat to remove that oxide layer than it does to melt the aluminum underneath it. And so that's why when you prep aluminum for welding, you remove that oxide layer, usually with some sort of like steel brush, a scouring pad, a flap disc for aluminum, something like that. And I just kind of rushed through cleaning it out, I'm going to be honest. So I just probably came into a patch that didn't, that still had the oxide layer on it. You can see here I'm moving pretty quick because the heat, I was just kind of like trying to beat the heat, but also just playing around, just seeing what works. Some puddles sink, or, they sink really fast. Like this one, I lost control right here instantly. It also looks like the torch, I might have had the torch a little bit too high. You can see right there, I'm just trying to go fast, but that heat's just beating me. But that's okay, just experimenting with everything. I noticed that the best settings for this machine is 100 hertz and 70% cleaning. Now, with the Miller 220, the cleaning is on the electronegative side. So it's going to start on the, you're going to see a higher percentage. So that means that it's, doing 25% of cleaning. That's the Pro set, which is 75% cleaning. But I liked 70%. I think the machine does really well at 70. You can see here I'm going slower. Finally kind of got like a pretty good rhythm going. And another thing with this machine is just really throttling the heat. And, so it just comes down to just keeping those amps low. Excuse me. Keeping those amps low and just finding that sweet spot with everything, and that just came down to me just playing around with tungsten, playing around with filler rod size, playing around with throttle, all that kind of stuff, cleaning, frequency, and just, that's the only way you're gonna learn. So don't be afraid to do some crazy stuff, go all the way to the extreme end, go to the other end of that extreme, weld with a dirty tungsten, weld with a super clean tungsten, weld with too much argon flow, weld with no argon flow or very little. And, you're going to see what all of these things do. And then that's going to help you to diagnose symptoms quicker when you do see something that you don't want to see. When something comes up that kind of alarms you'll know how to diagnose it quicker. So don't be afraid to just try everything. That's my advice, and that's just how you're gonna learn. So you can see here, kind of I do that little swirl. Let me know in the comments if you do that swirl or if that swirl is a bad technique. Let me know. But one thing I like is that 3/32 filler rod is nice. It really kind of just keeps things under control. When I use 1/16, that really takes a lot of skill. And the cool thing is I do recommend using 1/16 or practicing with 1/16 because it's just going to help fine tune those skills, because if you can really control that puddle, control the speed, the heat with 1/16, then, you'll be just that much better with 3/32. So practice with both, don't just settle for 3/32 and then one day you're going to need to weld some corner, or seam with 1/16 and then you're going to kind of be struggling. So practice with everything. All right, so you can see I'm kind of jumping in a little tight spot there, just kind of, getting as much practice as I can. But let's see if I missed anything here. One thing I will say, the reason that I use a number 6, if you're wondering why I use a number 6 cup, that was kind of just like on accident. I used the number 5 and I couldn't remember if it was a 5 or a 6, and then I just ended up using a 6 with a gas lens, and I liked it. I mean, it was working for me, so I just stuck with it. But from what I hear, number 5 cup is kind of the way to go. But once again, just practice with everything. I mean, I think I practiced before, with a number 8 cup, and I didn't like it as much. I think for me, a number 6 is kind of my favorite, but I could be doing things wrong. Who knows? So here I'm moving a little bit faster. Practice moving fast, practice moving slow, and really throttling that pedal to see, if you can keep everything under control. And that's the only way you're gonna learn. And you can see here on this particular weld, I think I lost control somewhat. The puddle's kind of sinking, but just kind of moving as fast as I can, and cratered. But there we go right here. So I think I lost control of the start of that puddle right there. I should have built it up a little bit more, and I think my torch angle is maybe a little bit lean too much. So there we go. This is the results of everything. That's kind of where I'm at. And, I will say before you start on a project, if you're going to, start welding, kind of warm up. Give yourself space to make mistakes, warm up, because just like everything else, welding's no different. You got to warm up. So practice first before you kind of get into your main project, or before you just warm up. But I hope that you enjoy this. All right, you can see right there, here's the thinness. Here's what I've been working with, and you can see how thin it is. Look at that. It's 20 gauge right there. So I would say try to practice on thin stuff. And that's kind of what I settled in on. And you can see right here, here's some more practice welds that I was doing. It's like I'm welding on Doritos chips or something. But yeah, so you can see right there, just practice. And with that said, thanks everybody for watching. I'm definitely going to put up some more welding videos like this. So let me know if you want to see anything, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comment down below. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in. See you next time.